So we hear we're going to learn more about Will Blake's past, and that might explain more of how he reacts to Dash. Can you
Yeah.
talk about that?
Yeah, it's really fun for me right now because for the first couple of episodes it was a very establishing relationship. That's really their narrative. It's okay. Here is what Blake is to the world and what he used to be for Vega, and the promise was that this was gonna get deeper. And the pond was gonna get way deeper. So I was really excited when Kevin and Max called me and they said, in episode 8, there's something epic happening for your characters, so just kind of, hang on. And then we started planting seeds of emotionally where he would eventually be by the time this episode happened. And what's really fun is that for me, the funnest part for me is playing the conspiracy, being part of the conspiracy and being kind of a bridge between the conspiracy and our daily operation, and being torn between, eventually, which you'll see in the next couple episodes, being torn on what's morally right and what is ethical, and for him, somebody that eventually you find out that his family was his mother was saved by the pre-crime program, and then eventually you find out that he from there he joined the force, and then he became a Marine. Then from there, a detective, and partnered with Vega for 4 years, and then knew how to be by the book and work the ladder and the political ladder, and eventually became the boss of the precinct, and climbed fairly quickly. So for him now that he's going to be presented with a new level of definition and a new a new point of view, he's gonna have to somehow compromise with what he is and who he is, to really save the day and at least join the force and be part of that. So it's really a unique, time for the character. And episode 8 also is gonna dabble on something that I'm super proud of, which is the subject matter of immigration and an amendment that may or may not have passed, in the past, that eventually influences how certain ethnic groups are looked at and treated like in the United States. And so I think that that's also exciting, and my character is in the forefront of that as well, and he's an example of that as well. So we were able to show another immigrant that turned out to be an example to a community, so that was really cool for me. And then I get to do a lot more action, which I love. And but I think that this is a really great sweet spot for Blake. I think that you'll be able to see not only be torn by the dilemma, but then making choices that are probably going to be the pivotal points for the story.
Now,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
one of the things we've been talking about that's been a through line in these interviews is the idea of kind of dehumanizing the precogs and relegating them to kind of a cog in the machine. As somebody who has a past where your family was directly affected by the program, how does that affect how you relate to them? Because obviously, with logical, you'd be grateful.
It would be different. I mean, before that, I had very little understanding of what that program was. All I know is that they came and they prevented a crime from before it happens, and that's what most of the population really understood from pre-crime. Cool. They're probably gonna prevent. Nobody's gonna kill me because they're probably gonna come and catch them. Before they do that, and that's as simple as the population really was for me. And I was a teenager when this stuff happened. So I think he won't learn that until he really understands or learns the truth behind the person. Behind the precog, so you'll see that definitely play out. I think that his opinion is going to be challenged, and I think his beliefs are going to be challenged based on the rules that he plays by. So you're going to see him either break those rules or reinforce new ones.
Who was the most surprised by Blake's reaction to uncovering the truth about Dash or Vega, would you say?
Well, let me see. How much did Max elaborate on that? Because I want to just kind of piggyback on what he said. Did he tell you about Blake and Dash meeting for the first time and all that stuff? I'm just trying to figure out how we lead into that. So Blake Blake eventually is going to catch up. Now, how it happens and how it how this involves and how it just kind of it unveils, it's crazy how it happens, and it's really it's not technically he wasn't technically told. Let's just say that, and so there was already kind of a little bit of a grudge for that, but I think that the dynamic between Dash, and Blake right now has all been a lie. He's infiltrated, our precinct under my watch, and eventually that's going to really weigh in on me, and we're gonna see how that turns out.
Now, although the past of Dash and all that was very bad for them, is there a part of Blake that kind of wishes that they could just go back to doing the pre-crime thing, since it saved his mother?
I think Blake is going to keep all his options open. I think the threat is so big that he's going to really weigh in all the possibilities and all the options we have at this point. So, his dilemma is going to be: does he go left and protects the precogs, or he goes right and saves hundreds of thousands of people? And how he does this is what you're going to have to wait and see, because it is. It's very dramatic. It's very dramatic, and that decision is going to fall on his lap, and that's going to be, that's going to be crazy. There's going to be a really odd collaboration between the team at hand, to try to make sure that this doesn't turn out like it did last time.
Is that going into 9 and 10 that happens?
It'll start at 8. It'll start at 8. I think between 7 and 8 really kind of set the stage, and then 9 and 10 it's when
Is that where the terrorist threat really becomes?
It started in 8. I think starting 8 is when all the terrorist threat all of a sudden is like, okay, this is happening, and it's happening here, and it's happening now. So that's kind of how it works. Yeah.